Welcome to Between the Lines, show number 99. Next week will be our 100th show, and we got a good one. We're not going to talk about it yet, but it's going to be a good one. And we had a good one tonight. We had Pellissippi on 2 weeks. Who did we have on last week, Brad? We might have done the tax show again. So now we're going to talk to Roane State, who is developing their own soccer program. As we know, they have a main campus in Harriman, and they have the Oak Ridge campus, which fields quite a lot of students. But I'd say we have limited athletic facilities there. So Pellissippi, they have real problems. I mean, they've got to find places to do a lot of stuff that you won't have that problem. So we're on tonight. We're excited. We're going to talk Roane State. I know when I was in basketball, graduated high school 50 years ago, so 49. So anyway, we're sitting there and we're looking, and there was a program. They'd started basketball. They'd started baseball, a few things, basic things in the early to mid-'70s, but nothing like soccer or anything like that. So it's taken them 50 years to get a program together. That's pretty unbelievable, really. Although Pellissippi said the most expensive sport they have is soccer. It costs more money for their soccer program than it does any other baseball, basketball, anything. Wow. I'm surprised by that. Yeah. I was really surprised at the expenses of that. So I guess travel and your division, if you're in their division, you got to go to the Southwestern Community College in West Tennessee. There's a few other teams in your league.
We have 6 teams in the conference.
And that can get expensive, moving that around, doing everything, et cetera. And, well, Coach, introduce your assistant. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Green. You've been coaching around here a while.
Yes. About 22 years. So just finished up at Oak Ridge High School. I've been there the past 6 years, and this come up in 2022 actually, right. When the athletic director of Roane State reached out to me and asked me if.
Who is that?
David Lane.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a former baseball coach at Roane State.
I remember.
And so it was about this time in 2022. He told us their vision, and I said, well, I don't know if I want to leave Oak Ridge. I love what I'm doing there. Yeah. Great program. Yeah. A lot of young talent.
Great stadium.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had a game there last night. I was watching it. Night before I came in. Great stadium.
But he said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you to July of 2023. I said, all right. So between that time, we'll say about the next 9 months, I prayed about it a lot.
Sure.
And I'm like, you know what? I love starting programs.
Yeah.
And so, make a long story short, Lord left that door open, so I'm going to go through it. And ever since, basically last June, we've been on the recruiting trail.
Let's recap a little bit. Where'd you grow up quickly, and where'd you go to high school?
Grew up in Roane County, Kingston area, and I graduated in 1986 at Kingston.
Was it Kingston or Roane County?
Well, it's called Roane County High, but I don't.
When I was there, it was it was Kingston High School.
It's still Kingston High School. I'll never say Roane County High.
Yeah,
athletics, all their apparel has K on it, not RCH.
It's kind of like me in Lake City. It's never Rocky Top to me. It's always
it will always be. And then, okay. And that's kind of how it got started.
Did you ever play soccer?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, play little.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I didn't get to play in high school.
Well, you're in your mid-50s. You would have. That's probably okay. I mean, there probably was enough soccer by then.
I mean, at Kingston we didn't have soccer then. So,
how long have you coached at Oak Ridge?
So, 6 years.
Okay.
Finished my 6th year.
All right. I got it. I got some girls that played there in 2007, 8, 9, that area, but nobody that recent. Tell us about yourself, Coach. Where are you from?
I'm from Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
Okay. Me too. That's a great advantage.
Oak Ridge native, but ended up attending high school.
Your name's very familiar to me. You got brothers?
Yeah, Jonathan Worley's.
That's the one I was thinking. How do I know Jonathan Worley?
Well, he attended Oak Ridge High School, worked over at Volunteer Case Container off Warehouse Road.
Wouldn't be it. I know him from somewhere. What year did he graduate?
No, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
What year did you graduate?
2006.
Okay. Spencer Goldmeyer, all those kids were in there at that time. I remember that. They worked for me in the summer times. That was a good area. Did you play soccer at Oak Ridge?
No, sir. Played over at CAK, Christian Academy.
Oh, did you? Okay, I didn't ask that question. I should have asked that question. Dennis Rush coached here for years at Oak Ridge High School, probably 20, 30. Is he still alive?
As far as I know, he is. Yeah.
That's been a long time for Dennis.
Yeah.
Dennis gave great service to the community. He really brought soccer to the town. In those days, there were 8 soccer teams in the state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you didn't go to a Catholic or a private high school, you weren't playing soccer.
Yeah.
It was like 3 state schools that played. Now you say CAK. I call that the Boulevard. You got CAK, Webb, and Catholic.
Yeah.
And that's a strong corridor there.
Yeah.
Got a lot of sports
rivals just by being neighbors.
And
I
you
told. Go ahead.
You got Grace right over the ridge.
I
too.
forgot Grace.
Yeah.
My bad. Okay,
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
my bad. But
Yeah.
let me say this. Let me say, I'll tell the story. I think I told it when you were on the phone. One of my good friends that graduated high school with me, Steve Smith, played basketball with me, Dr. Smith in Knoxville. His son, Harrison, obviously played sports in Knoxville and has been the safety of the Minnesota Vikings after graduating from Notre Dame for years. But anyway, the big soccer dean in Knoxville, the guy who coached everybody, he had the best private traveling soccer teams of all time. He won the state championship. I believe he was at Webb. He might have been at one of the other schools at that time. This is like 12 or 13 when this interview came up. And he looks at the thing and he says, is this the best team? Is some guy that he coached in Knoxville who went on to become a professional soccer player. Is he the best soccer player you ever coached? He looks back for a second and he looks up and he says, no, probably Harrison Smith was the best talent I ever saw. And we all said, he played football, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But not until he was 14. He played everything, and he was a great, he said he had more natural talent on a soccer field than anybody I've ever seen. It's interesting, though. You see the cross of the sports and the thing, and that was 20 years ago. I mean, that's kind of a time frame thing for me. I mean, soccer was starting to really build at that time. I can remember, and I'll quit talking so much, but I can remember being in the MTSU cafeteria in the summer of '75 and reading Pele's autobiography. And he had just signed with the Cosmos in '76, and so soccer was kind of migrating out of South America and Europe into Brazil. That's interesting. I like the Pirates. I like the Braves. I like this. Everybody likes something. Do y'all follow professional soccer? I mean, the
Yes,
kids,
yeah.
do they have favorite teams and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, probably not as much as, obviously everybody I think follows the World Cup. I mean, I've talked to people before that don't watch soccer, but they'll watch the World Cup,
Yeah, that's too big a venue.
Yeah, it is.
In '82 at the World's Fair, I put up a satellite dish, and the ambassador to the United States from Italy said, Mr. Beauchamp, will you put that up so I can watch it? I'm over here for 6 weeks. And I said, yes, sir, and I put it over by where the Millers from. And we sat every day, me and 2 or 3 of his buddies and my buddies, and we watched it. They got through the first round, they got to the second round, and Italy won the World Cup. They cried. I've never seen so many grown men cry in my whole life. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So is European soccer, compare European soccer, I got a feeling it's like basketball, European soccer to South American soccer. What's the difference?
What do you think the difference is on that?
I think the difference between European soccer and South American soccer is the creativity in which they kind of play. European soccer, you kind of have a little bit more physical play.
Like basketball,
You have a little bit more, there's skills involved, but you won't see as many flicks and, kicks over the head and bicycle kicks and all these kind of things. You see a lot more faster-paced freedom when you see South American soccer.
When that would have been my suggestion. There's more ball handling, more skills and stuff. I call it ball handling, But, but France and Germany, those guys dominate the sport.
Yes.
They dominate the sport. All due respect to Brazil, but they dominate the sport year in and year out. You get into the Final 4 or 8, and the United States has gotten better. They've been in, but I guess that's it. So all of the world frenzy, all the things we've talked about, Oak Ridge is now going to have a girls soccer team. Oak Ridge, Roane State, the whole thing is going to have a girls soccer team.
Yes, yeah. Like I say, I think Roane State did it right. They didn't just cram it in there. That's why they started talking about this in 2022, but we want to do it right. We're not going to start till the fall of 2024. And so give me and Nathan plenty of time to recruit. And we've been doing a lot of
It's almost time to play.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. I mean, it's a big difference,
What is your season?
It's in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Over by Christmas.
yeah.
Okay.
It's a situation where, coaching on the high school level like I have past 16, 17 years, we're training in June and July. So like at Oak Ridge, as soon as school was out, we got tryouts that day. Last day of school and the next day, then we're training in June and July.
Sure.
Before that, I coached at Grace Christian Academy for 10 years. It was the same way.
Good school, real good school.
Yeah. So now, college level, August the 1st. That's when we can start training.
Rules, right.
Yeah, and so that's a little different adjustment.
When was your first game?
And then August the 20th. So, we have,
But they can go in the weight rooms and they can do unsupervised activity. Right?
I have 20. We have 20 right now, fully signed and committed. And Out of those 20, I think 17 are currently playing club soccer.
Yeah, that's the big, in my day, that's the difference.
Yeah, and so
I coached
it
AAU
is.
girls and basketball, and we traveled, and it's a much different, you know.
And so, yeah, they're getting touches on the ball, but, basically club will be done by the end of May, so we will come up with some packages to be sending them, some workout packages, so.
Tell me about the fields. I mean, I want to ask you a variety of questions about Ballsfield. Okay, you have a standard soccer field like Oak Ridge. Okay, Oak Ridge. So you said Grace you played. That's right. So probably a much better program.
Yeah,
That-
he-
no
CAK,
shit.
yeah, it was in a very nice field.
So you switched me to Grace over to Ridge, and I'm lost. But I got to get back over to Ridge. So, okay. Webb always dominated. They still have good soccer teams.
They're a little bit down
Yeah.
overall.
Okay.
I mean,
It's 'cause
Webb
it costs
maybe about
24,000
3
to
years
play.
ago they won the state championship. I think
Yeah.
roughly about 3 years ago. Yeah.
I understand. That's good. So the fields. Basketball courts are 90 feet. College 94. Variety. You get the baseball fields now, they differ. Left, short porch and left, right, whatever.
Right, yeah.
What's the rules in soccer? Are they all the same size?
No, they're all different.
Wow.
For instance, when I coached at Grace, it actually didn't meet the minimum requirements to host region and further.
No, we're talking about the actual playing field there.
Yeah, which it was only like 56 yards wide there. So, I started coaching at Oak Ridge. I'm like, whoa, it's one of the biggest fields in the state. So we're just under 77 yards wide and 120 yards long. So
That's in play. No
yes,
out of bounds.
That's in play.
Okay.
So,
And
but
at Grace, what were you?
we were about 56 yards
By
wide.
120?
By 120.
You got to do the 120, right?
Yeah.
110s, right? Okay.
Yeah, minimum I think is 105. I've been on some that are about 100 yards long.
Either of you follow hockey?
No, I don't.
I love hockey. I mean, I had season tickets to Pittsburgh for 15 years for the thing. Some arenas in the old days, like Boston, they'd be crowded in because they had big. At Philly, they'd recruit the bigger, thug, stronger guys. Didn't have as good as free skaters, but you didn't get the free skate because they hit you when you came over the first line, the second line, the third line. I was wondering, soccer, if I didn't have a lot of speed and I didn't have a lot of agility, I might have a smaller field.
Yeah,
I mean, but you can't adjust a stadium very easily.
right. Yeah.
I mean, that'd be tough to do, wouldn't it?
But yeah, speaking of, at our main campus in Harriman, the Roane County campus, dirt is being moved right now.
So we're going to have a dedicated soccer field.
Yes, yep, we're going to have our own soccer field.
Have you named it yet?
No, I haven't named.
Hey, if any donors out there,
Yeah, wanna get on there,
we can add a name to it.
There's a number and a name. Once you get up to a certain number, you can name
We are really, we're looking for help on that, but, like I say, we're going to do it right. We're going to have our own field,
stands.
Yes, it'll be starting off kind of like the portable ones, the bleachers.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
We will have dugouts, when I met with the president there and my athletic director, they said, what do you want? I said, well, I want to be
look
able
like a soccer field,
to sell this program. And so we will have dugouts, and, we go to a lot of places that, you just got a little bench out there to sit in. So Roane State's, they're doing it right. And so we're going to have our own field. I do know some of these teams in our conference, like you mentioned Pellissippi, they're playing at various locations. We will have our own field. And
I think they're going to play in the bubble. I
Yeah.
think that's their plan. It's play up on the hill now, so they'll be all right. They'll have a home field there.
Yeah.
What's the? You said you had 20 players. I'm not a soccer person, but I say I watch, like you said, I watch the World Cup religiously
Right.
all the time. But and I get to know everybody. But basically, we start with a goalie. We got a midfielder. We got a couple of striking forwards. Now we're coming back. We got a center fielder. Stop me when I make a mistake. Center fielder, and then we got defense. Right? Am I naming them right?
Yeah. I mean, from the
So
back.
you got. Yeah, I'm going the other way, right? So
Yeah.
you got 2, 1, 2. So what do you have on the field at one time besides the goalie? 7 guys?
It's 10.
Really?
11 total with the keeper and 10 field
Okay, let's
players.
go back on the
Yeah.
keeper. So I've got how many forwards, strikers, whatever you want to call them?
Well, it depends on what shape you are. Let's just say the basic 4-3-3, and so you'll have 4 in the back line.
That's a good place to put them.
Yes, and then 3 midfielders. And
3
then,
front.
And then 3
All
forwards.
right, I got it.
Yeah.
So you don't have a center per se. You have 3 forwards. I got it. Strikers. And so forth. Where do you put your best shooter? Where do you put your best striker?
Well, it varies too, depending on what team you play. I mean, I'm just going by the coaching
you'll
on the
move
high
them
school
around
level.
based on what you're- okay.
Yes, I may move them.
What's your specialty? The defense?
My specialty?
Where do you fit in this game? I mean, like if you guys are approaching it, he can't do everything and you do nothing, or vice versa. So he's got to do more than pep talks. He's got to help, right?
Well, I can go ahead and tell you what he's going to do.
Okay, you tell me right now.
He's going to be over the goalkeepers because he's a good goalkeeper coach. So, yeah.
That's the most important position.
Yeah. Yes.
I can go right through the sports with you. I'm at, center, quarterback, goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Hockey, same thing.
I mean, they say defense wins championships.
That's right,
so
yeah.
The goalie and the defense, and everybody has to fight hard.
Who wins the NHL championships? Who's favored to win the hockey? There's 16 teams. You know who's favored to win? The ones with the hottest goals.
Yes.
Right.
And when I was in the NHL, Tommy Barrasso was playing. I knew him. He was playing in Pittsburgh. And his goal per game was like 166 in the last month before. And nobody scored on the whole playoffs. They won two Hart trophies in a row. I mean, just if you're hot and you can see the puck or the ball, a little easier to see the ball than the puck. Puck's coming 120 miles an hour. But you also got a bigger area to guard in soccer, right?
Yeah.
What is the shape of the goal? How wide, how tall?
It's 24 feet wide and about 9 foot tall. 8 foot tall.
And that's a World Cup too?
Yeah. That's a regulation.
Same
goal.
for you everywhere?
Yeah.
Basically, once you hit 11v11, once middle school age, it's all the same, 8 by 24. And
that's why a lot of people like to get, a goalie who's about, 6'4", 6'7".
That's what you see in the World Cup. They're all tall.
Yeah.
Every one of them are tall. Let's take a short break, and we'll be right back to talk about Roane State soccer.
We should never lose sight of our health. To keep moving forward, let's not forget everything we've learned. Limit the salty food options. Make your own daily exercise routine. And always receive regular checkups. More than anything, we have learned how important these small steps can make a big difference. So we can all continue to move forward together.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
From Oak Ridge, Tennessee, IB3 Global Solutions conducts operations around the world to enhance the U.S. national security posture and minimize radiological and nuclear threats. IB3 Global Solutions. Mission first.
This is my husband, Alex Hussey. Alex was about 2 weeks away from coming home.
I was point man in foot patrol, and I stopped on the bomb. Lost my legs and my left hand in an explosion.
And he suffered a severe traumatic brain injury.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
There are so many mountains to climb, and we do it together.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
Too much, Alex. Take on this mountain. That's what this is all about.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Alex has conquered this mountain. That's something he won't forget.
With the right support, there are no limits.
Look at that smile! You did it!
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
This has meant so much.
Thank you, DAV.
Alex Hussey, thank you for your service. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
At Navarro, we partner with our clients to advance clean energy and deliver effective solutions for complex challenges in the nuclear and environmental fields.
Fan Gear Barn is Oak Ridge's source for new and vintage sports fan gear from around the world of sports. Find your favorite team gear at Fan Gear Barn, located at 977 Oak Ridge Turnpike, across from the hospital. Open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., 6 days a week. Closed on Sundays.
So Roane State's going to start out with about 20 scholarships, players coming in to be on the Roane State team. Team will be headquartered in Harriman, but Oak Ridge will have a presence in their own way. So let's talk a little bit about how you get 20 kids into the program. How many goalies you got to have? How many goalies you got to have?
Well,
I
at
mean,
least
yeah.
one.
You at least have to have one. But when we're talking
yeah.
about training
Yeah.
and doing all these kinds of things, making sure that the goalkeepers are getting the, you know,
I'd have
you're
three.
monitoring.
I don't even know the sport. I'd have
Yeah.
three.
So I mean, 3
Yeah, that's
is recommended.
Yeah. And also, if you get one every year that
Yeah.
you play, then you've got your well, I guess you'd have to have 2 and 1 because you're a 2-year school. All right, I got it. So we get 20 players in. They get a scholarship to Roane State. What is that? I mean, I would think, and I told Pellissippi this, I would just harness Knoxville area talent. I mean, you got enough talent in a city of this size and this area and the good high schools that you should be able. There's you, with all due respect to Johnson and places like that, UT. I don't even think UT, they have club soccer, don't they?
Yeah.
They don't have
For men's, they have club soccer.
For men, yeah.
For women, they have.
Competitive.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have Roane State, we have Pellissippi State. If I'm a kid going to Bearden or Oak Ridge or where else, wouldn't I want to play and I'm not quite good enough to sign with, I don't know, whoever the big-time women's Duke, North Carolina. I got to figure the ACC. I know Notre Dame is a good soccer team. I'm a Notre Dame follower, and they've been in the top Final Four several times. Better lacrosse, but yeah. So anyway, so ACC, East Coast, a lot of soccer. Wouldn't you have an advantage? Don't we have an advantage to bring kids out of these high schools in the area and come to your program? And what will set your program apart besides Ms. Worley's goalkeeping teaching? What else will set aside your program? Why would I want to go to your school?
Well, Roane State obviously has been around much longer than a lot of these community colleges that have women's soccer.
That's true.
They've had athletics longer than any of them, you know, with you know, baseball, softball, yeah, women's basketball and the men's basketball, and now they're expanding a lot, you know, with cross country and golf, men's and women's golf as well.
That seems overdue to me.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
so
just me.
yeah, but you know, it's the advantage is. We'll just say for junior college in general, I mean, yeah, you're basically going to school for free if you meet the academic requirements. Right. And so what might you have if you book fees, you know, but, you know, at Roane State, I've got scholarship money to offer. So, and what's appealing to them is, you know what, some of these athletes are telling me, I'm getting paid to play the game I love. And so yeah, you know, and that's good. I mean, I've got money to offer. And
how many of your 20 players you're recruiting will need a place to live?
We have, 4. One of them is not for sure. So Livingston Academy, McMinn County High in Athens, Corrigan, Gibbs High School, and then
Corrigan and Gibbs, they can commute.
And Polk County High School in Benton, which
I've been there many times.
We were just there Tuesday.
Consultant, and I'm going to tell you, if you can even find Benton, Tennessee, you got an advantage.
Yeah.
That's way a beautiful country, beautiful place.
Yes. You know, so
that's good.
Those 4, and you know.
But you got a place for them to live. I'm thinking scholarship money, and I'm connecting housing.
Right. You know, unfortunately, no junior colleges in Tennessee has on-campus housing. So yeah,
Mississippi it seemed like, and I don't know if it works in there, they're challenging it with neighborhood apartments and housing.
Right, yes.
But, you know, you go down into Harriman or Roane State, there's apartments.
Yes,
You can hook up with a 4 or an 8-plex. What you need is go build an 8-plex or something where everybody can live in the same dorm.
Yes, we're definitely working with that. We found some apartments, you know, but, you know, the parents have got to, you know, they're wanting to check them out and see if there's in a good place and affordable. And so.
But I guess my point is that could be within your budget.
Yes.
You could use some of your athletic money to house people and to do some of that, right? Any private schools in your district? I'm trying to think of them.
In our conference?
Yeah, that aren't state junior colleges. Are there any 2-year schools that you'll compete with?
Well, I mean, our conference, so is us and Pellissippi, which is on the east side. And then we will go to Motlow State and Columbia State, Middle Tennessee, and then we will make the trip to...
What about Morristown, up there, Walter State?
They don't have one yet.
Okay.
And then Southwest Tennessee and Dyersburg. That'll be the West Tennessee trip.
You play outside your district?
Yes. We're actually opening up with Johnson University, where my daughter played, and... you know, several years ago.
Coach will have split loyalties. It'll be
yeah,
okay for a day.
So, and then we play, and you know, and I've asked these 4-year colleges, hey, do you have a JV? Some do, some don't. But you know, so some of these will not be playing their JV But, like Bryan College, he said, hey, Coach, we'll play everybody. We'll play our bench. And so
that's right.
We're playing.
That's how you get better.
Yes. Tennessee Wesleyan, they have a full JV. We're playing them twice, home and away.
How many games on the schedule?
I've got 16. You can have 22 counting preseason. Okay. So I've got 16 this first year.
That's good.
And then we may expand from here. And then I've got Itawamba Community College out of Mississippi. They're coming to us this year. And it's funny talking to him was I didn't realize how really big it really is growing. But he said there's 14 teams in his conference. He says, it's really huge in Mississippi as far as women's soccer and junior colleges. And I feel like it's going to continue to grow in Tennessee, too. I mean, word is Chattanooga State and Volunteer State will be coming along with it.
Yeah, Gallatin, yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a... If you get, so we get our 20 players on campus. We start practicing August 1st, right? So, what do you do when you get them on the field? You separate them. You already seen them play. You scout them. You know which ones are going to be wings and which ones are going to be goalies and which ones are hopefully will be defense players, et cetera, et cetera. Do you have some players that are athletic enough they can do whatever you ask them to do? Do you have 3 or 4 really great players?
Oh, yes.
That are above the other 16.
Yeah, I mean, I've got
going in.
Yeah, 3 or 4 that I feel like I can play anywhere. And I've told them. I've went and watched some of them. It was funny. I got to watch some of them while we were playing them as the coach at Oak Ridge, too. And so, some of them can play multiple positions. Except for goalkeeper. That's a special position. And that's what we're going to need. I got a lot of midfielders and forwards, a lot of goal scorers, but. Really recruiting heavy on the defensive side, for my defenders. And
what's the hardest thing to coach?
Hardest thing to coach for me, it's goalkeepers. But
well, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, that is exactly right.
What's the hardest techniques or the hardest adjustment going from high school to a more competitive league? Like in baseball or in basketball? Basketball speed for me. When I went straight to Middle Tennessee State to play, but still, I only played a year and a half. The speed was different. The athletic part was the same, but the speed was different. Size wasn't much bigger, but the speed was quick. And I would say in soccer, you're going to have a few people that can juke a little bit more, score a little bit more. Is passing, I'm just kind of get a grasp for the game. I know in basketball what to expect and what to coach. But when you get them in, do they have, like you talked about, 4-3, do we have a set philosophy that's going to be different than what they learned in high school? I guess that's what I'm going.
Well,
I
think we can both answer that one too. I'm real big on technical. We've had 2 ID camps. We talked to the players. I told them kind of my coaching philosophy, and then when they come for the visits, I ended again with my coaching philosophy.
Why don't you tell us what that philosophy is?
Well,
in 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes, okay. As far as my coaching philosophy with the person and then how I do it on the field is, for me, it's person first, athlete second. It will always be that way. When these girls know that we would run through a brick wall for them, I think they'll do the same for us, and then they'll want to play for us. It's like I tell them, I want to win more than any coach on the planet. But, you're number one, though. You as the person is number one, and your academics is number one. In front of athletic ability. So, if I can make you a better person, and more importantly, and then you become a better soccer player. We've won. And so, I'm always, going to be, if you get injured, you know what? I'm going to go to the hospital and check on you. I'm going to be there with you. And just let them know how much we care as their coaching staff. And then on the field, I'm real big on technical work. You can ask some of my former players. Every day, it's fundamentals. Every day, it's going to be fundamentals.
It's true.
It's going to be technical. And you're talking about passing. Yes, I'm big on passing. You're a better team if you can pass the ball.
If you pass quick,
if
and
you're
you
a
move,
passing
you're going to get open.
Yeah,
that's the way.
3 seconds at your feet. That's it. Get rid of it. Unless you have a wide open field.
3 seconds at your feet. Let me ask a couple goalkeeping questions. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's talk psychology first. I've roomed with place kickers. I've done other things. I've had friends that are place kickers. They dress in the corner of the locker room. They have. Is there a mentality that a goalie's out there by themselves and really, even though I'm part of the team and I'm part of the identity, and you know where I'm going, the brand, they have their own space. Is that fair still in pro soccer?
That is absolutely.
A
goalie is a single player on a team.
That's right.
You know, they're a part of the team. They have to be connected with the team.
And their success or failure is easier to see.
Yes. They get blamed for everything, regardless. And that's what mentality is, one of the biggest things that makes a goalkeeper. You have to be willing to fail again and again and again and still believe you're going to succeed on the next one.
It's a baseball hitter or a cornerback in football,
And, you know, there's an immense amount of pressure at goalkeeper because, you know, the reality is that a lot of times when you let a goal in, sometimes the situation's not even in your favor. But all the odds are against you.
Right.
But then all the other, you know, the fans, the players, the coaches, they just see the ball hit the back of the net. Next thing you know, it's your fault. So there's a measure of accountability that you need as a goalkeeper, but also the biggest thing is reflection. You need to be able to take the burden of whether it's your fault or not and kind of read in between the lines and reflect on that and kind of recognize, is there a way I can improve here? And if not, you kind of just have to let that pressure go away before it makes you crumble.
You know, I got really close to the hockey team in Pittsburgh and a lot of the guys and watched them. You know, I'm on the blue line. Ryan had really good tickets. And I learned that as good as goaltenders are, defensemen, they got to get the puck out of the zone. You can't let him be barraged with shots all day long. And I would imagine soccer's the same way. Your four-line of defense can't let people penetrate that line and just take open goals.
Yeah, any extra chances or extra shots is just brutal for a goalkeeper. So a lot of times when I'm communicating to a goalkeeper, I'll describe it as alleviating threat, where if they can jump up and catch the ball and alleviate that cross and alleviate that threat, you don't get any more extra chances. Same with the defender, right? If the defender can kick the ball out of bounds, you know, we would prefer it to be kicked up to a player that we can keep the ball, of course. But when we're talking about alleviating that threat and not giving any more chances to our opponent, you got to reset the play. Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
Me personally, 75% of goals that given up on teams of mine, I put the blame on defenders. I'm pretty hard on my defenders, and they will tell you that too. Goalkeepers are going to make mistakes, and they'll know. You know, they typically own up to it. But it's like Coach said. I mean, it's those extra chances, extra attempts that the other.
And it's the same in hockey. It's the rebounds. You get the rebound, bang, it goes back in the corner. You don't have to watch much World Cup. Guy deflects, another guy comes in, he kicks it right on the other side of the net. I mean, it's not that complicated. But I would think that would be psychological. Coaching would be important in that relationship because you've just got to be ready. What's the average goals per game given up by an average college goaltender, women's goaltender? 3? Is it higher scoring?
I would say it's about 2 to 3 goals.
Okay, that's pretty consistent with it.
Yeah, the thing about the upper level college game for goalkeepers is that you're getting far less shots. So it's very important to stay focused. So in the college game, a college goalkeeper may only see 5 to 10 shots a game, which are very few. Yes. But the game may end up 2-1, 2-0. And so, you know, you got to be prepared for those shots because you don't have many more chances.
How many breakaways do you see in a game? I mean, where somebody's coming at you?
In the college game, not very many. Basically, you would define as a busted play. If you have a breakaway in the college game, it's a busted play. So maybe like once every 4 games or so.
Penalty shots? Once again?
That's kind of random. But maybe the same kind of probability, 1 to 3, like 1 penalty per 3 games.
I'm asking fan questions, but before we take our next break, what's the chances of the goaltender stopping? You know, I tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. I look at the World Cup, and it's like they're stopping every other 1 or 2 out of 3. I always understood that you had a 70-80% chance to make the shot. So what's changed in 10 years? I mean, why are they stopping so many of them? Best goaltenders in the world, I get that. But, I mean, I saw they had no goals scored in one of the shootouts in the World Cup until the 6th shooter. 5 got stopped in a row or missed to the side. Is that unusual?
In the professional field, it's not unusual. It feels unusual because people watch it and, you know, the shooter takes the kick and they get it. But there's so much video now where goalkeepers can study body language and positioning, and that's where goalkeepers can really tell what you're, you know, obviously there's still some room there for flexibility where you're unsure, but you can really read body language really well, and that's what these goalkeepers are doing.
And the bigger you are, the harder it is. Let's take another break. We got a half an hour to go. Roane State Soccer, it's on its way.
From Oak Ridge, Tennessee, IB3 Global Solutions conducts operations around the world to enhance the U.S. national security posture and minimize radiological and nuclear threats. IB3 Global Solutions. Mission first.
Fan Gear Barn is Oak Ridge's source for new and vintage sports fan gear from around the world of sports. Find your favorite team gear at Fan Gear Barn, located at 977 Oak Ridge Turnpike, across from the hospital. Open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., 6 days a week. Closed on Sundays.
At Navarro, we partner with our clients to advance clean energy and deliver effective solutions for complex challenges in the nuclear and environmental fields.
Get ready for the 19th annual Clinch River Spring Antique Festival, presented by historic downtown Clinton. Join us on May 3rd from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. and May 4th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Market and Main Street in Clinton. Experience 2 days of fun with antiques, artisans, live music, delicious food, exciting demonstrations, and much more. Rain or shine, it's a can't-miss event for the whole family. Visit historicdowntownclinton.org. The 19th annual Clinch River Spring Antique Festival. See you there.
We should never lose sight of our health. To keep moving forward, let's not forget everything we've learned. Limit the salty food options. Make your own daily exercise routine. And always receive regular checkups. More than anything, we have learned how important these small steps can make a big difference, so we can all continue to move forward together.
Let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Welcome back to the 99th edition of Between the Lines. We're talking soccer at Roane State, and we were talking at the break a little bit about recruiting. And anyone out there who's interested in playing high school soccer and might be able to start playing at the community college level, hadn't really looked around, you need to get a hold and fill out a prospects form and see what could happen or not happen. And by the end of this show, Chandler will get up a contact email or a contact phone number for you to get a hold of the Roane State people. But this is kind of exciting. And first year, and we're ready to go. Season starts the 16th, third week of August, and they start practicing the 1st. And we're trying to get, because there's rules when you can and can't practice in college sports.
Right.
So they can't even practice till August 1st. 4 scholarship opportunities left. If you think if you're going somewhere you want to go out, but you didn't know Roane State had a program, this is your chance to find out. So we're going to do a little bit about that. So tell us about where the 20 are from. We know 3 are goalies. I imagine you got some Oak Ridge players on there because you guys are Oak Ridgers in a sense. And tell me about the breakdown of the 20.
Okay, let me try to. So
jump in there.
Very first player, and it was a really big deal. You know, I was excited for her. The very first player to sign for me was Emma Kate Trout from McMinn County High School in Athens.
Really good?
Yeah, yes. I've known her parents for a while. I've known her dad. We used to coach against each other.
Right.
Yeah, and so.
Position?
Huh?
What position?
She's one of those that can play them all. She wants
to be up front.
She's a midfielder in club and formerly, but.
Could have gone to a bigger school?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what makes her special.
Yeah. And so yeah, excited about her joining.
And she was the first. When did she sign? What month did she sign?
This was, okay.
We're in end of April. Did she sign after Christmas?
No, it was before Christmas.
Okay.
I was wanting to say it was around, sometime in November.
Okay, so we're
Yes.
timing this. We're 6 months
It
into
was,
the process.
I'm sorry, it was late. Yeah, it was late November.
5 to 6 months into the process, and she
Yeah.
was your first. Did she help you recruit other people? Did her signing show that you had a
Yes, I think it
legitimate-
did.
Like,
Yeah.
well, them Gates corner, it can't be bad.
Yeah, word's getting out. And I'm still hearing people. I didn't know Roane State had women's soccer or starting a soccer program.
Right.
And so from there, it went locally. I've got the first Roane County player is Monica Bounds from Harriman High School.
So number 2's Harriman. We've got a Harriman person.
So yeah, we've got some from Harriman.
Let me know when you get to a goal. Go ahead, keep going.
One of them is from Harriman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so Roane County, I've got several. I've got about 3 from Kingston that are juniors. That's filled out those prospect forms. So
They wouldn't play this year. But they might
correct.
play
Yeah,
next year.
correct.
When you say you got 22,
I've got 20 right now. Yeah.
That's on this year.
Yeah.
This coming. Yeah,
We'll
this
make
coming.
sure, 'cause
soon.
you're switching to 25 prospects. I want to make sure.
So Gibbs High School.
Okay.
I got one from there. Livingston Academy. They've had some very successful seasons. Been in the state tournament previous years within the last 3 or 4 years. This is one I was recruiting really heavy. And a little story about her is, she filled out a prospect form early, and her parents came down and drove around the campus and everything. And she came to both my ID camps. We had one back in November.
Define ID camp.
It's a identification camp for interested players considering want to.
Gives you a chance to look
And so,
at
yeah,
skills.
we just run a camp.
Colleges do that.
Yes.
I mean, college football.
Yes, exactly. So she came to both of them, and we talked afterwards, and, she wasn't for sure yet. I invited her, said, come out for a tour. So their parents brought her out for a tour of the school. I showed them everything, and then showed them where the field was going to be.
It's a lot of work into this.
Yes, it is. Yeah, done a lot of those. And
It's easier.
and it made me feel good. Her mom called me not long after that visit, and she said, Donnie, she was 50-50 on it because she was being recruited by 4-year colleges, including one from out of state, actually 2 from out of state.
Okay.
So she still had to go and visit that one. And so she said, I just want you to know, she was 50-50, really not leaning toward it because she's wanting to go 4-year.
They want to go get out.
Yeah. And she said, you sold it on her in the tour, the visit. She said she's all Roane State now. So I was telling Nathan about that. He wasn't able to make that one. And I said, okay, hold on a second. So I said, let me pat myself on the back because this is new to me. The recruiting side of it and the visits. She said she's won just by your coaching philosophy as well. She says that you're very sincere about it, about what you do, and I am. I'm very passionate about it. And so she wants to play for you. And so, that made me feel really good. Like, this recruiting maybe is for me.
I coached late 70s AAU boys and girls, and it's interesting. I was just out of college. I was looking around trying to help, and I would have a girls' locker room, and when I was speaking, everybody looked at me. I get in a boys' locker room, they're all over the place. I was just gonna think, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But yeah, it was.
Girls, at least in that era, now they're the grandparents probably, but they really wanted to do well. They really had an attention span that really mattered.
Oh, yeah.
And I say that because this young lady, whoever her name was, she took the time to evaluate it and think about it, et cetera, et cetera. Guys, they have different. Well, I recruited for big colleges, and it's just they just have a different philosophy. Who are the other players? Do I get along with them? What can I do in the city?
Well,
things like that.
That's part of my speech to them when I do these visits. I say, hey, this is why I coach girls. Well, first, my daughter played from the age of 4 through 22. Girls, and no offense, guys, but girls play with more heart and passion than boys. Period.
That was kind of where my speech was going for.
Yes, in the game of soccer. They listen so much better. They soak it up like a sponge. They ask questions. Coach, what can I do to get better? I've coached boys before. All right. That's just my personal opinion.
Sure.
And they have a desire to please their coaches, their families, their schools, their communities,
absolutely.
so much more. And so
the biggest handicap, I think, for women athletes, young women athletes, are their social life or their obligations weigh heavy on them in other areas,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they get complications, and guys don't care. They're all about
Yeah,
themselves,
yeah.
and they're ready to roll, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas girls are conscientious, whether it be a boyfriend or somebody
Yeah,
else. One of the obstacles we always found was trying to get them to lock in and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
The other problems will take care of themselves, but there's always a maternal instinct where you want to go take care of that problem.
Yeah.
Guys don't have that.
Yeah.
Not many do, anyway. It's it.
But
that's a good quality to have in a player.
it definitely is.
Somebody cares about their teammates.
She does, yeah.
Or anybody,
So Anderson County, we actually just came from Anderson County High, signed the second one from there.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got 2 from there.
They take pictures, being a courier next week.
Yeah.
That's the only newspaper in this whole area, Roane County's always, that has a decent sports section.
It does,
they
yeah.
really have a good sports section.
Ken Lay and I talk. We talk a lot, yeah.
Tony does a great job publishing the paper. He does Farragut too, so he just does a great job.
Let's see. So I don't want to leave Powell. We're going in 2 weeks to sign 2 from Powell High School.
Okay. See, and once you get the girls from the neighborhood, it starts to roll.
Yeah,
because Junie's going there, Billy's going there. You know that stuff works.
Yeah, Knoxville Christian School. A young lady I coached back when she was in the middle school age. And she found out I got the position there. She's reached out to me, pretty quick. Coach, I want to play for you again. All right, here we'll get the ball. Get the ball rolling.
You coached at Oak Ridge this past year.
Yeah, this past season.
Even though you knew you were transitioning.
Yeah, I was still.
You're still coaching, so.
Yeah.
How many Oak Ridge kids are coming?
I've got 2. One, which my center back signed her, and so that was a big pickup. And then I've got one that graduated in 23, and we'll talk a little bit about that. She was at ETSU, and she actually.
You know my buddy Mia, right? She
yes,
played for you,
yes,
right?
yes.
What'd she play? Defense?
She was a forward, yeah.
Forward, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been bouncing around North Carolina.
She had, yeah.
She's a good little player.
Yeah, we talked. I think she kind of wanted to get away, Yeah, and I get that.
But she's a good player. I think she told me yesterday she was doing a community service at the church I go to when I was taking food down there. And she said, she's good friends with my son, and she said that I think she's landed at Warren Wilson because they got a spot for her on the team right away.
Yeah.
So that's almost, they recruited me in basketball. That was, when I was there, you're too young, never mind. I was going to tell you something.
North Carolina, right?
Yes.
Warren Wilson.
Over by Asheville.
Yeah.
They play in that private school area. She was in UNC Asheville, but she made the jump, I think. Good kid. There's a lot of, my point being, it's not about just me who I think the world, it's about everybody else who all these Oak Ridge kids.
Yeah.
Come along and they're interested.
And there's a few others that's younger, that juniors, that's filled out one of our prospect forms as well.
Well, once everybody knows it's available, a couple of years, once everybody knows that here's Roane State, here's what they do, and when you make your choices, when they sit down 6 months ago, they weren't even thinking Roane State.
Yeah.
Now it's on the agenda. Do I want to go here? Do I want to stay home? Do I want to do this?
Yeah.
And your facilities are going to determine.
Oh,
if
definitely.
you get the facilities
Yes.
right, you get the crowd right, and you get to being competitive, your recruiting will go well.
Yeah.
If you're playing in a cornfield, nobody's watching.
Exactly,
You're
yeah.
going well. So but I think everybody understands that takes a year or two.
It does,
to be on the
yeah.
first team, it's kind of a privilege.
Yes,
I mean, you kind
that's
of be
something
able.
we're selling too.
You put the picture on the wall, basketball. Put the picture on the wall. You say the inaugural team. Everybody goes back and remembers that team. They started it all.
Polk County High School, we were there Tuesday. That's the one I was telling you. So, got one that signed from there. I got to see them play.
Anybody in Knoxville?
Powell.
Powell
There's
isn't-
2,
yeah,
and then
Powell's being
the other
outside.
one, Knoxville Central. I'm sorry, Knoxville Central. Knoxville Christian School.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yes.
If you go down the corridor, did you get
Yeah.
any of the players off the corridor there? Catholic Webb, CAK. I mean, any of those kids are there?
No, I've got one from Grace,
you go.
1 or 2 from Grace. It's
Over
filled,
the ridge,
filled
I
out
got it, over the
prospect
ridge.
form.
But a lot of those kids go
Juniors.
to major
They're
colleges.
juniors
Yeah.
though right
Yeah.
now. So, speaking of juniors, I've got a list about this long of current high school juniors, which would be 2025s.
Yeah.
That's very interesting in our program. So, yeah, it looks really
Got
good
them
for
all in
them.
Excel? Got them ready?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm very, very organized.
That's
and
good.
so
Sounds like it.
I got folders for 24, 25, 26, 27. I got an 8th grader that's even filled out a form already. So, yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah,
Brian
so-
was in 8th grade. He was
Yeah.
ready to roll. I mean, you never know. You never know. How many? Let's take a break. Well, one more break. Then we'll come back and talk about some diversity issues. You got it, Chandler? Let's go. One last break. How many minutes?
We should never lose sight of our health. To keep moving forward, let's not forget everything we've learned. Limit the salty food options. Make your own daily exercise routine. And always receive regular checkups. More than anything, we have learned how important these small steps can make a big difference, so we can all continue to move forward together.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Get ready for the 19th annual Clinch River Spring Antique Festival, presented by historic downtown Clinton. Join us on May 3rd from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. and May 4th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Market and Main Street in Clinton. Experience 2 days of fun with antiques, artisans, live music, delicious food, exciting demonstrations, and much more. Rain or shine, it's a can't-miss event for the whole family. Visit historicdowntownclinton.org. The 19th annual Clinch River Spring Antique Festival. See you there.
From Oak Ridge, Tennessee, IB3 Global Solutions conducts operations around the world to enhance the U.S. national security posture and minimize radiological and nuclear threats. IB3 Global Solutions. Mission first.
At Navarro, we partner with our clients to advance clean energy and deliver effective solutions for complex challenges in the nuclear and environmental fields.
Fan Gear Barn is Oak Ridge's source for new and vintage sports fan gear from around the world of sports. Find your favorite team gear at Fan Gear Barn, located at 977 Oak Ridge Turnpike, across from the hospital. Open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., 6 days a week. Closed on Sundays.
He would have been great, too. We're back. 99th show of Between the Lines. We're talking about Roane State soccer. We're going to give you some information before the show's over. If you know any athletes or you know any girls program people around your high school or anywhere else, they got to get on a prospect sheet here local and get in the program. They don't have to decide. They don't have to join. But they want to get in and get information and know what's going on. It's kind of like being for UT over Kentucky or Alabama. You got to be on UT's program list. Well, they don't have it. Well, they do, but that's a different story. But you got to have a program list here where kids from our neighborhood high schools can go on to play college soccer. I'll get you that information. We'll get it up before the show's over. All right. 6-7 minutes. What do we want to talk about? What's your season starts August 16, 17. When does it end? October?
Yeah, it depends on how far we go in the postseason.
Okay, when's the postseason? You go 16 games, it's got to take, what, 12 weeks?
Yes. So it'll be around the middle of October, and we could play up as far as middle of November. So if you know.
And those playoffs are within your district?
Yeah, the conference, yes. And so which.
Well, it's the difference between the district and the conference. Is there a difference?
Well, yeah.
In college, there is no district.
Yeah, there is no
district.
district.
It's just a conference.
Yeah, it's
okay,
just
in
conference.
your conference, what's the name of the conference? Some junior college along there?
Yeah, TJ said.
Region 7.
Region 7.
That's
Region
all
7.
Region 7.
Yeah, we'll just say.
So you're Region 7. That's all
Yeah.
Tennessee?
Yes.
Okay, so you're in the Region 7. And how many teams are in Region 7? Are we back to the 6 again?
Yeah, there's 6, yeah.
Okay. And if you win that 6, do you go anywhere else?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in now. Okay,
so,
so
even
though you're probably not a favorite in the first year.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal about that. So.
Okay, let's hear about it.
We've been trying to stop the flow of Knoxville kids, Knoxville area kids, going to Motlow. So Motlow wins it every year.
Okay.
Every year.
We got a
and
target. That's good.
So we're trying to stop that flow, and we have. We feel like.
Motlow is Jack Daniels country, isn't it? Where is Motlow?
Tullahoma area. Tullahoma area.
But I'm telling you, they got a great women's sports history down there because I played them in basketball. They were always tough.
Yeah. So
50 years ago,
so give them credit. They've been doing this a while. Got some good coaching staff. So with us and obviously Pellissippi too. It'd be great to stop that flow. Keep them here on this end. Obviously with Pellissippi now having a women's program, obviously that'll be probably our biggest recruiting rival.
Rival period.
Yeah. And so, they've got a year
Playing
by.
twice in the year regular season?
Yes, we play every conference team twice.
Is the tournament set up 1-8, 2-7, or whatever it is, 2 buys, 1?
That I'm not sure yet.
Single elimination?
Yeah, I'm
Double?
not sure on that. But yeah, so
I'm getting pumped up.
it's a situation where, you know what, if we can keep them here, on this end of the east side of Tennessee, and we feel like we're doing that.
Is that the right number? Let's make sure. Guys.
Yes, that is my number. Feel free to reach out to me on that. And guys, you can also go to roanstate.edu, go to the athletics page, and look up women's soccer. And
Go slow too. Of course, you can always rewind on TV.
Yeah.
roanstate.edu.
.edu.
Okay, and then you can find sports.
Or you
on
can
it.
always Google it. And then go athletics page. Our prospective soccer player forums are on that page. And then,
So if you're a junior and you go to Alder Springs High School and you like soccer and you play and you're pretty good, you can fill it out, email it in to them. That gets you on their radar. So
yeah, that's the point. Getting on the radar, then we will reach out to you. I will come see you play. We will come see you play, whether you're on your club team, your high school team.
Mr. Worley, I got a plan for this school. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to call it Goalkeeper U.
Yeah.
It's the number one goalkeeping thing in the country. That way we just attract them from everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the way we do it.
And I've called a lot of high school coaches. Every one of these players, I've called the high school coach, before I even go, get a chance to watch them. If they, hey, tell me a little bit about this player X, and I know high school coaches are, as a former high school coach, it's good to, see your player go on and play on the next level.
Sure.
Because only 6-7% of athletes do that.
Yeah.
And so I will talk to them. I will come see you guys play, whether it's on the club level or high school level, and see if it's something, that fits into our schedule, onto our roster. So
Best player you ever coached?
Oh, gosh.
Your turn's next. Think about it.
Well, my daughter was one of them.
I'm taking her off the list. Gotta pick somebody else. That's
A local player played here, lives in Oak Ridge, but played for me at Grace Christian Academy. Probably the best player I ever coached, Allie Dunn. She went on the full ride Division I to Arkansas. Then she transferred to Lipscomb.
What position?
She was forward. She's the one that currently holds the TSSAA state record in goals scored in a season, 76 goals.
How do you score 76 goals?
I turned her loose. I told her, I said,
you got to be beating some little teams up and getting 8 or 9 goals.
well, we beat some pretty good teams that year.
16, how many teams in a season? How many games did she play to get 76 goals?
That was 22 games. It was including the state tournament, 22 games.
That's 5 a game.
Yeah.
No, it's 3 a game.
Yeah.
3.5 a game.
But yeah, she, and then I think another one here at Oak Ridge that I've just coached the past 2 years, Haven Lauren Dean. She's
Tommy's girl?
Yeah.
That thing was full of athletic genes.
Yeah.
All the Lauren Deans. We had her on the show. Remember, she came on the show.
Yeah, she was on the show.
I remember that. Yeah,
She's,
it just hit me because I remember talking
Yeah,
to
Big Cat's daughter.
Big Cat's.
Yeah, she's
Where's she
one
going
of
to
those.
go?
She's going to a lot of ID camps, and she's visiting a lot of places.
Good enough to play most anywhere?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And
Striker again, forward?
Yeah.
Nobody plays.
Forward, or on her club, she's a forward. For me, she was a midfielder.
Nobody plays defense anymore.
Yeah,
Okay.
so.
All right, that's good. So that's 2 of them. That's good. Who's the best one you've seen, Coach?
I would say John Krill. He was a
Sounds familiar.
boys player
I remember him.
who ended up graduating from CAK
Okay.
and went up to go play at Davidson College.
Yeah, no, well.
And he scored like,
They had a good guard a few years ago,
Yeah.
Seth Cody, right?
I mean, he was a goal scorer.
Yeah.
The first time I saw him, he got the ball within literally 8 seconds, went down the field, slotted one side post, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
Not only is this guy fast, but he can put it where he needs it.
Yeah, that's great. That's good. He went right to his player. That's fantastic. How much time? 1 minute. I'm excited, Coach. I don't say that very often, but I think it's great that Roane State's identified in Oak Ridge. I don't know, and in Harriman too, on that whole corridor of Oak Ridge Turnpike. There's a lot of people around here that identify Roane State as our home school.
Well, yeah, and half of my student athletes right now are going to the Roane County Harriman campus. The other half are at Oak Ridge campus, and I do have one that assigned at Cumberland County. She's actually going to the Crossville campus, and we'll be commuting 35 minutes. So.
How often do you practice every day?
Yeah, once we get started, it'll be every day. I basically tell them it's.
How can we help? How can we help? Besides getting the word out and helping you to promote and do stuff, you have any fundraising? Rather than me writing you a check, do you have any other fundraising?
We had one already, and we're going to have a couple more coming up.
Just let me know and I'll get a broadcast. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week, 100th episode.